Okay, next topic I want to hit, because we are on the last day, amazingly, we're on the last day of 2019. We're literally, the next time I talk to you, it'll be 2020, because there's no show tomorrow. Tomorrow will be New Year's Day, and so we'll be back on Thursday, January 2nd. It'll be 2020. But I urge you to go to my website, americacanwetalk.org, and across the top of the homepage under shows, there's a drop-down menu that says list of links. In there, I have 3 different links just today of lists of accomplishments of the Trump administration since the time he took office. I have one list is just 2019, one is just 2018, one is all 3 years that he's been serving as president. These are important things to remember as we wrap up 2019. The president of this country, Donald Trump, has done extraordinary things, made extraordinary progress in exactly the ways his voters want him to, the things he ran on, he is executing on and doing them. And they are really profound things. It's job creation. It's the lowest unemployment rates for blacks and Hispanics and women in decades. It is a robust economy. It is an economy where you have more jobs that are open because the economy is blooming and blossoming than you even have people who could fill them. We have new manufacturing jobs. We have economic growth hitting numbers that the left mocked and said were never possible. You have median household income hit the highest level ever recorded. These are just economic accomplishments. You have economic accomplishments. Even, in fact, part of what the leftists were always trying to say was, well, all the changes that President Trump brought around were really just to help the rich. This is the lie that Elizabeth Warren tells over and over and over, that somehow this fabulous economy with more people working and more people creating businesses and a record number of new businesses opened by black business owners, regardless of all this great economic news. You hear Elizabeth Warren and other leftists arguing that, well, this may be a recovery, but the poor people aren't being helped. People at the bottom aren't being helped. It is a lie. This economy has lifted everyone. It's been stellar. So that's the economy. You have foreign policy. And in this time President Trump has been in office, he has actually brought ISIS to his knees. Yes, radical Islam will always be there, or just Islam and its teachings of that command devout followers to spread Islam by force or manipulation still exists. But ISIS, that had literally begun a new caliphate, the dream of the ISIS radical in the Middle East, and President Trump's strength, his determination, his willingness to use military force has reduced ISIS to almost nothing. He has pulled us out of the UN control that was created in the Paris Climate Accord, which President Obama put in place without running it by the Senate because he knew the Senate would never approve it. We have President Trump has made extraordinary progress in terms of getting the members of NATO to pay more of their fair share, not to have America always carrying the bag, America always being the one carrying more than our fair share of the load of expenses. You have President Trump, who's made extraordinary progress on securing the border. We had a growing abandonment of the border under President Obama, more and more willingness to let caravans flood the southern border, overwhelm our border, let them in. People scatter into the heartland of America. We never see them again. We have a massive number of illegal aliens living in this country. Numbers range from 10 or 12 million to 25 or 30. Whatever the number is, massive number. And at least President Trump has taken the stand. We're going to have a secure border. We're going to be an actual sovereign nation, so we're going to have a border. This president has accomplished so much, and I could hit a bunch of areas, but I want to encourage you actually to go read the documents we posted at my website, americacanwetalk.org, because I can't even begin to go through the list of things he's done. They're just extraordinary steps of progress for America. Extraordinary steps of also in not just physical measures of military strength and military accomplishments and border security and economic accomplishments, but on the level of restoring the culture of America that believes in our country, President Trump has made extraordinary progress. The simple but profound message of America first, that we actually love and revere the idea of America, that we're going to work to restore that idea in this country, that it's right and noble and good to believe in the idea of America. These are cultural, political, societal changes in thought and changes in trends of thought and patterns of thought that is now more and more acceptable and more understandable for people to be standing up for the idea of America. The accomplishments of this president have been extraordinary, and they are the implementation not just of the promises he ran on, but they really are the implementation of the ideas of America's very founding itself. What President Trump has brought to this country, is a reinvigorated commitment to the ideas in our founding. The idea that we have the right to live in liberty. The idea that we have the right to pursue our version of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The right of religious freedom that matters. That's our core promise in the First Amendment, the first, in the Bill of Rights, the first right. The idea that we have the right of religious liberty, very much under assault from the leftists in this country, the radical left in this country, very much under assault. The left is on the path of abandoning the borders, weakening America, bringing in millions of people who live here with no legal right to be here, who are going to become dependent on the government, who the left views as future voters once they ever get control of the White House, the Senate, and the Congress, turn all those illegal aliens, whatever the number is, up to 30 million, maybe more, into citizens, trying to create a permanent Democrat voting base. The left was on track to do all of that. What President Trump has done in just these 3 short years, and we're not even totally at the 3 short years until the middle of January, when his 3-year, from the date when he was sworn in, it's extraordinary. The change in the culture of our country, the belief in our country, the love of our country, the love of freedom, the recognition that we don't want to surrender our sovereignty to the United Nations, that we do have a right to have secure borders, that we do want a strong military. We had the emasculation, the weakening of America's military under 8 years of Obama. We have President Trump bringing it back. No sovereign nation can survive without a robust military, especially the United States of America, because the world turns to America to be the guardian of freedom. So I'm telling you, folks, the accomplishments President Trump has made have been extraordinary. Go to our website, americacanwetalk.org. Read some of those summaries. I can't even begin to lay them all out, even if I had the whole show to do it. And he's done it pretty much without the help of even the Republicans in the Senate and House, and most definitely without the help of any Democrats in Congress. This has been a man on a mission, doing what he can do, setting a tone of leadership and strength for this country. You can't even, and what we didn't even touch on, the courts, the transformation of the courts, as we had President Obama placing people more and more leftist leaning, serving in our federal courts, meaning that not that they were leftist leaning, meaning they were, political, but their concept of what the role is of the courts was a leftist, take power, grab it anywhere you can. It's the mindset of the leftist. You grab all the power you can, and every time you have power, as Obama did when he became president, we had almost before we woke up the next day, were way down the path on socialized medicine. We had socialized medicine take over this country by Obama in the first few years. The way the left chooses judges, it is not finding judges who are willing to follow the Constitution, willing to follow the laws of this country. The leftist mindset is take control and put in place our radical left-wing agenda. Use every power you have. It's why the Obama administration weaponized the federal government against the American people in a variety of ways. The IRS against the groups that were trying to form, Tea Party and other groups trying to form, the IRS weaponized against them to shut them down. You had the Obama administration weaponize the FBI and the Department of Justice, literally to attack the opposing party. We're still getting to the bottom of that. We hope that Barr and Durham get to the bottom of that. We hope for indictments in 2020. But I'm getting at the point, it's really important to value what President Trump has accomplished in the almost 3 years he's been serving as our president. As I say, pretty much without the help of very many Republicans at all in elected office. Some of them, there are some members of Congress and a few members of Senate who are actually supporting and helping him, but pretty much President Trump has done this by the sheer force of his commitment to follow through on doing what he said he would do, which is following through in the restoration of America back to our founding values, restoring strength, restoring liberty, restoring freedom of religion, restoring freedom of speech, restoring a noble civil society. It's been an extraordinary ride these 3 years.